adjust. So we'll start with some twists. But being very, very specific with our twists so we can target each of the areas of the spine. So a quick anatomy refresher. We have our cervical spine, basically the neck. We have our thoracic spine. We have our lumbar spine. When you turn sideways, there's a little bit of curve that's supposed to be there. That's why you have a little bit of curve in your neck, a little bit of arch in the low back. We just don't want that arch over-exaggerated, overextended. So we want to think about bringing our ribcage down, aligning our hips so that if this was our hip bones, we're sitting like this, we're not tilted back, we're tilted forward, but sitting very tall. We want to let our shoulders relax down and slide back. So we're bringing our elbows underneath the shoulders. Bring the ears back, almost as if we've got strings attached right behind the ears, and somebody behind us is pulling. So we're not lifting the chin up necessarily, but just kind of pulling up and back a little bit. So we still have that natural curve that's in the neck. We're not over-exaggerating that, or the lumbar curve. But we've come to a more neutral placement for everything. And while we close our eyes and start breathing, let's just notice. Notice the body likes this alignment. It might not know what it likes right now. So if this isn't a way we normally sit or stand, it may feel different. Maybe a little uncomfortable. Maybe we need to just engage the muscles in our abdomen. Maybe the pelvic floor needs to lift. Push the belly button in, solidify the muscles in our trunk, helping us to remain upright. Reaching the crown of the head to the ceiling, driving the tailbone down into the mat. And then focusing more on our breath. Noticing if we let the shoulders and chest fall and rise with our breath, or if the rib cage and belly expand and close with our breath. So we want to bring our breath into a rhythm and a pattern. Maybe a count of 4, a count of 5, breathing in and out through the nose. Full inhale as the belly expands. Full exhale as the belly and ribcage close in. The entire time we're keeping that spine nice and long, spacing the vertebrae evenly. Sometimes sitting with correct posture is a core workout of its own. You may be experiencing that. So let's start with some movement with our breath. Focusing on the cervical spine only. So shoulders stay in place, rib cage stays in place, belly doesn't move, hips don't shift. So you breathe in, and as we exhale, we turn to look over our right shoulder, turning only the head. We feel a nice stretch through the side of our neck, and inhale back to center. Moving with our breath, exhale, turn to look over the left shoulder, and inhale center. Maintain that long spine. Exhale as we turn the head. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, looking over the left and center. Exhale. And inhale, center. Exhale, last time over the left and center. Did we notice if our rib cage or our shoulders wanted to move with our body? Did we notice if when we turned, we ended up turning, like leaning the head at all? Or were we able to keep the spine nice and long and rotate the vertebrae around the spinal cord without leaning or tilting? So maintain that long alignment again. Let's move the twist down a little bit. So to the top of the thoracic spine, top of the rib cage. So we're going to let our shoulders move. Now it's going to be a little movement because we've got ribs that attach on the back side of the spine, then also attach on the sternum. So the shoulders won't move but a very little bit. We want to try and keep the core solid, so we're not moving, we're not turning at the waist, but we're not really moving the bottom of the rib cage either. So just the shoulders, it's going to be a little bit of movement. So as we sit, we inhale long, we exhale shoulders, and then the neck and head to look over the right shoulder. And inhale, neck, head, shoulders back to center. So thinking about what we start movement with as we go into it, and as we come back to center, reversing that, if that makes sense. So as we exhale, shoulders, neck, and head. Inhale, neck, head, shoulders. Does that make sense? So moving with our breath, whatever our pace is today. 3 more to each side. So shoulders, exhale, shoulders and head. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left, shoulders and head. Inhale, center. Sitting even taller, lifting the pelvic floor as we exhale, shoulders and neck to the center. Really solidifying the core. And finding that balance between softness and strength. So we have the room to move, but we have the strength to support us. Exhaling as we turn. Inhale, center. Last time each side. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Start to feel things happening in our bodies, different muscles, maybe we're just not aware of using all the time. So moving down a little bit, so down to the lower thoracic spine. So we're going to not move big with the waist or the belly, but we're going to move rib cage, shoulders, neck, and head. So you're probably going to be looking a little bit farther back behind you, but it's not because we're straining, just turning the head. It's because we've incorporated more of the spine into rotation. And that gives us a more range of motion. So going only where the body is willing to go, not forcing anything. Inhaling tall, and as we exhale, rib cage, shoulders, neck and head. And inhale, neck, shoulders, rib cage. Exhale, rib cage, shoulders, neck. Inhale, neck, shoulders, rib cage, 2 more times each side. Exhale, ribs, shoulders, neck. Inhale, center, letting the shoulders sink even lower. Exhale. Inhale, center, 1 more each side. Core staying strong. to center. So now moving lower into our lumbar spine. So the lumbar vertebrae attached just about points above the low back where that curve starts to come up as the top part of that. And then the sacral joint, the SI joint, or sacroiliac joint. So those S1, S2, S3, 4, 3. I have to brush up on my anatomy book. So they're fused right in the bottom where the spine comes down. It's almost like an upside down triangle that kind of nestles down into where the hip bones kind of cradle all that. So helps to stabilize. So there's not a lot of movement there deep in the spine or deep in the hips where that SI joint is. So from just above there to just below the rib cage, along the back, our lumbar spine, the lower arch part of our back. So we do naturally have that little bit of a curve, so we're not trying to eliminate that curve as we sit tall. So now as we go into our twist, with a neutral alignment, the hips stay steady, and we're moving through those lumbar vertebrae as we exhale. So the whole belly turns, rib cage, shoulders, neck and head. So we might find we're looking a little bit further and inhale center. So what we want to do is keep everything down. It's easy to shift. I don't know if you could see there's a little bit of shift there. So my right hip is up a little bit, my left hip is down. And so it looks like I'm twisting further, but I can feel that my spine has leaned from center. So we want to try and avoid that and just keep the core muscles strong, spine long, and go only as far into our twist as our body allows with the strength that we currently have and the range of motion we currently have. So 3 minimum to each side, moving with the breath, focusing on that spinal alignment. Inhale tall, exhale as we twist, belly, rib cage, shoulders, neck and head. Inhale center. Exhale belly, rib cage, shoulders, neck and head. Inhale center. Breathing as we move. Inhale center. Exhale. Belly, rib cage, shoulders, neck. Inhale center. Exhale. Last time each side. Maybe going a little bit deeper into the twist as we keep the core steady, the hips stable. And inhale, center. How do we feel all up and down the spine? Any noticeable differences? You have a pussy black on your face. Maybe it's the stress of the day. I tend to get that way too, except I scowl more. I had a great aunt tell me one time, I was in my 20s, she said, you need to stop scowling or it's going to wrinkle like that. Like, thanks, Aunt Daphne. Oh, bless her. So, in thinking about the spine, so it moves a couple different ways. The rotation that we just experienced. When we're nice and tall, it really does feel good. And sometimes you get that little bit of a crack and release in the joints. So then we also have our lateral flexion. So with our left hand at our side, walking fingertips away, inhaling the right hand up, dropping the left hand flat, reaching the right hand even further up. So we're creating a straight line from right arm all the way down through the spine. We've got that nice side bend. Heart turns towards the ceiling a little bit. Shoulders are neutral in the back. Feel that nice stretch. So left side is closed in. Right side is opened up. Inhale. Back up. Walking the right fingertips out from the body a little bit. Inhaling left arm up. As we drop the right hand, we reach the left even higher. Our gaze looking up at our fingertips, heart turning towards the ceiling, the shoulders moving towards each other. Right side of the ribs and the spine closing, the left side opening. And inhaling. That feels good after holding steady and going into this twist. So let's 2 more each side. Inhale as we lift. We have full stretch. Exhale as we lower. Inhale as we reach. Exhale as we lower. The last one each side. This time as we come up, we can stay here. If we want to deepen that stretch a little bit, we can bend our left elbow, bring us a little bit closer towards the floor. Keeping our right hip grounded. If we want a little bit more intensity, we can bring our right arm down in front of us, roll the shoulder back and down, getting a neutral place, and then sweeping the arm over the head. So reaching over the side of the head, and we feel that stretch deep and all the way down the right side of the body. Heart's turning up towards the ceiling, trying to touch the wall opposite. Breathing into it. And if we want to deepen the stretch into the lumbar region, keeping this lengthening in the arm, let's turn our gaze and our heart towards the floor. And you continue to reach, continue to drop the right hip down. Feel that stretching a little more into the lower back on the right side. Maybe even down to the top of your hip. Breathing into the space. Inhaling our gaze forward again. And then up. Switching sides. Our last time. If we want to take it deeper, we can bend our right elbow. Continue to reach the left arm higher. Left hip stays rooted. If we want to take the stretch more into our lumbar and even deeper to the side, we bring the left arm in front of us, roll that shoulder back and down, then sweep the arm over the side of the head. Our heart stays turned up towards the ceiling, our gaze looks up, trying to reach the wall opposite, lengthening that arm, driving the left hip down. And if we want to deepen that stretch into the lumbar even more, as we exhale, we turn our gaze and our heart towards the floor. Still keeping the hips solid, rooted into the mat. Still reaching the left arm across. Breathing into the stretch. Inhale, bringing our gaze center again. Both arms. And as we exhale, opening the chest, bring the elbows down. Bring the hands behind our low back, palms facing each other like you're holding a beach ball. Trying to keep from snatching it from you. So pressing the hands towards each other, feeling the shoulder blades move onto the back. Let's drop the shoulders a little bit lower, and a little bit lower, and lift the heart a little bit higher. And drive the hips down and lift the pelvic floor and solidify the core and lengthen the spine and all these things. What is she asking me to do, crazy lady? I can't do them so much at one time. Sound about right? I think we did honor it. And your neck relax back. And release. A little taller. And open the chest, especially for that last one. How did it feel focusing on like the spine and its alignment and the very deliberate movements, coordinating those with our breath? thing that you know is just drastically different than what you're used to, or just a different awareness, or was it just like, nice stretch, but that was about it? And there's no wrong answer. It's just some people feel it differently when we break this down a little bit more. So anything surprised you or jumped out at you? Guess my body lines. Sorry. Don't apologize. Don't apologize for being quiet. Alright, so we're going to move onto our hands and knees and go into cat-cow for a flow. And within cat-cow, we move our spine into flexion, forward flexion, and extension. So when we came back here, you probably felt some arching of the low back. You're extending the spine a little bit more. So we're going to go into that extension some more. So we've done the rotation, we've done the lateral flexion, we're going to go into the extension, and then a little bit more rounding. So we will have moved the spine every way that it can move. And again, moving with the breath as we go into this. So on the hands and knees, the spine is long. So try to find that alignment that we had when we were seated. The crown of the head, through the base of the spine, right at the SI joint, out the tailbone. Knees are under the hips, hands under the shoulders. And as we exhale, push the belly up, tuck the tailbone. Try to touch the ceiling with the inside of the belly button as we drop the head. Tucking the chin, looking at our belly. Into cat. Pushing the floor away from us with our hands and our knees and the tops of the feet. And as we inhale, starting with the tailbone, moving with our breath, we push the tailbone to the wall behind us, start pulling the heart to the wall in front of us. We find that extension in the spine, a little bit of an arch in the back into cow. The shoulders slide away from the ears. And move with the breath. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, rounding the spine up into cat. Inhale, lifting and lengthening into cow. Moving and breathing. A couple more times with our breath. Exhale, round and tuck. Inhale, lift and open. Last time each way, and then sitting into child's pose. So in child's pose, we bring the knees as wide as we need to for comfort. We can stay here, just sinking, letting the hips soften and relax. Letting the heart melt towards the mat. If we'd like to add some more stretch onto the back, we can go into thread the needle. So for that option, we come up just enough. And we can take our right arm, put it under behind the left wrist, right palm is up, and as we reach to the left, we lean to the right, and then sit back into child's pose, letting the shoulder drop to the mat. The left arm reaches as far forward as we can. So we find ourselves a little bit of a pretzel. We feel that beautiful stretch right under the right shoulder blade. Breathe into the stretch. and up. Switch our sides if we choose. Running the left arm under the right. Left palm is up. We reach to the right. Rotating, leaning to the left, dropping the left shoulder, sink back into child's pose, letting the right arm reach far in front of us. Sinking into the pose, breathing into it. Feeling that beautiful stretch under the left shoulder blade. And inhale, come back up. Sitting onto our feet, coming into kneeling for a moment. So kneeling, how comfortable is that for you guys?
I cannot find my feet. They're right here somewhere.
Enter the block.
And they're
If we need to sit on the block, and we can turn the block a couple of different ways. So what we want to try and do is keep the feet in alignment with the knees in alignment with the hips. And depending on flexibility, joint issues, this may or may not be a good idea. And if it's not a good idea for you, don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. So sometimes some of the kneeling poses, if this bend, this angle on the knee is uncomfortable, we have options where we're remaining a little more upright in the kneel, so that's perfectly okay. Camel is one of those poses. So with camel, very similar to this opening, we have the option of staying upright, making loose fists with our hands, braid at the low back, thumbs on either side of the spine. We drop the elbows, drop the shoulders, lift the heart, squeezing and firming the glutes and the outer thigh. So we keep the hips forward as we lift and extend the spine, unfolding, opening the chest. Another option for camel, if we can do this without twisting into it, we can flip our toes so that we're kind of on the ball of foot and the toes. Have the toes curled under us. We're still committed to this. And we straighten the arms and reach straight back so that the thumbs, the hands rest on the heel. That's not where I'm going today. My quads are too tight for that right now. So listen to the body. That would not have been good to sustain for me. The yoga instructors, we've got stuff we've got to work on too. And releasing and sinking back into child's pose. So a lot of opening, a lot of unfolding of the chest and the heart. A lot of engaging the core to get there. So let's come forward onto our stomachs. So coming onto the belly. Sliding the elbows under the shoulders into Sphinx. Turning the feet to the tops of the feet, tops of the toes, and pressing into the mat. And as we press the tops of the feet to the mat, the knees may lift up, that's okay. So that chest opening and that back extension that we did earlier, now our spine is all nice and warmed up. we want to find that again. So we want to lift out of the shoulders by pushing the elbows down, pulling the heart forward, lifting the belly button off of the floor, helping solidify our Sphinx by pressing the forearms and the hands down very firmly. So even though it looks like we're just laying here, we're engaging a lot of muscles. And it's easy to let the heart drop forward and kind of sink into the shoulders. And that puts a little more weight on the shoulders than we want, and the neck might try to take over. So as we press into the mat, we want to think about also pulling the heart forward again and up as we continue to lift the pelvic floor and push the belly button up. So if you would look at yourself sideways, you have a nice, beautiful curved spine. The low back is protected because our core is. And we are still breathing, right? So coming down, pressing up and back, rounding out that low back. So every time we unfold and open, especially with the spinal extension, we want to round it back over, helping to keep balance in the body. So coming forward again and onto our bellies, keeping the hands under the shoulders. Pressing the tops of the feet down into the mat again. Sliding the shoulders back like we're trying to tuck the elbows into our back pocket. Lifting the pelvic floor, lifting the belly button, pulling the heart forward and up, just like we did in Sphinx. So here we are in Cobra. Lifting the hands, minimal support there. Cobra is a snake, snakes don't have arms, so we don't want to use our arms. So if we feel like the shoulders are rounding up and pinching the base of the neck, they might be. We can bring the arms in a little bit, slide those shoulders down, and then place the hands. So the thumb is just at the side of our rib cage. It's a lot of strong core here, probably not as high as when we're in Sphinx, but that's okay. Letting the strength of our core, strength of our back, and our current spinal flexibility dictate where we go in this pose and how long we hold it. And exhale, pushing up and back, child's pose. So looking up, let's bring our right foot forward to the outside of our right hand. Helping the foot up if we need to, so the knee is above or behind the ankle. Pull the heart forward, solidify the core. We let the leg drop open to the side, we get a little bit stretch. And then bring the knee back up, so knees over ankle, lift the toes, spread them, set them down. And as we are ready, inhale, in the tailbone, bringing ourselves upright. So into a kneeling lunge. So revisiting our spinal lateral flexion earlier. Let's bring our arms at our side, palms facing forward, shoulders down and back. Inhaling the left arm up as we reach even lower with the right. Feeling that stretch on the left side of the body through the hip flexor. And switching sides. Sweeping the left arm down, reaching to the floor, the right arm reaching up. So a little different this side. Just noticing how we feel from side to side. Noticing how our body responds. Inhale as we lift. And if we choose, opening the heart, dropping the elbows. Shoulder blades coming towards each other as the elbows come towards each other. Shoulders are low, spine is long, lifting the pelvic floor, pushing belly button in, feeling very stable in our line. Do we hang out here all day? What do we need to let go of in our body or embrace in our body to hold this pose for the next hour? Might be little movements. Might be little engagement in muscles. Wherever we are, that's okay. Let's exhale, hands to the mat. Stepping right foot back and into child's pose. And inhaling up enough that we can bring our left foot to the outside of the left hand. Pulling the heart forward. If you want to let the left knee drop open, we get a little hip stretch there. And bring the knee over the ankle, lifting those toes, pressing the whole foot down, spreading and dropping the toes. As we're ready, tucking the tailbone, inhale, lifting up to our kneeling lunge here. I think my shirt has shrunk a little bit. Up, tugging it down. So wherever we are here, into our kneeling lunge. Going into that lateral spinal flexion, we drop our left arm, reaching higher with the right. Feeling it stretch down the right side of the rib cage as the heart turns towards the ceiling. Breathing into it, steadying ourselves with our feet as they press firmly into the mat. Breathing into the stretch. And inhale, lifting up, let's switch. So the right arm reaches down, left arm is up. Breathing into that stretch. Still breathing into it. Good. There we go. Folding my mat. Nice trick when you need a little extra cushion under your knee. And then inhaling as we lift. Opening the chest. Shoulder blades are down, heart is lifted. Lifting the pelvic floor. Solidifying our core. Finding what we need to release or embrace. Hold this pose for the next hour. And if you successfully hold it for the next hour, I will buy everybody dinner, drinks included. Multiple rounds. And exhale, hands down to the mat, stepping back, and into child's pose. And as we look up, let's swing our legs around, knee to ceiling. You ever find that you have a bruise or a tenderness that you're just not sure how it got there? But for there to be evidence of injury, it has to have been traumatic enough that the body responded in that way. So one of the things that I've noticed over the time that I've been in and out of yoga is as my body and my mind connection have increased, my body awareness, how I move through space, people around me, I'm just more aware of all kinds of things. And I have become more and more aware of those bruises and those injuries and those things. And every now and then, I still can't place it. I have no idea where this one came from, but it sure talked to me when we were on the knees. So anytime you're in the middle of the pose and something is talking to you, do what you need to do to take care of it. I love that yoga is non-competitive, or it should be. It's just you on your mat, it's doing what you need to do. Roll, I've blocked this. Okay. So I did this the other day, last week, and seemed to really like it. And I seemed very pleased with it. But before we get to it, let's do both. Both. So bring your knees back again. If we need to move upholstery out of the way, we can. We want to settle right on the tailbone or between the tailbone and the pelvic bones so that we can rock back. Find that balance point. Maybe we have our hands behind the thighs. Maybe we anchor our boat. Loose fists on the mat. Bring your feet up. Maybe we bring our legs so they're parallel to the floor. Maybe we can go straight with the legs. Maybe we can bring the arms straight beside us. Legs straight, arms straight. Maybe we pick up a set of dumbbells and we sit here and do bicep curls while we wait. Maybe we don't. Keeping the core engaged, lifting the pelvic floor, keeping the spine from rounding onto itself. Keeping the feet parallel, not squeezing the knees and the legs together for dear life. We want to keep the legs firm but not over-engaged in the middle. Want to row your boat? We can do that. So we've added in a little bit of a twist. And if you sing row, row, row your boat while you do this, total extra credit points. You will be my new hero. Do it around and it's even better. No takers. Okay, Jenna's not used to my corn since. So let's come into butterfly. Feels nice after boat, huh? How's the core feel? So even as we lean into butterfly, we're hinging from the leg joint where it meets the hip, pulling the spine along, the heart forward. We're letting gravity work with the knees to let them drop low. Sitting up, let's extend the right leg, pushing the heel forward, tall as we can be, and walking the hands down the leg, keeping the heart lifted and pulled forward, sending the tailbone out behind us, we're scooting it out behind us so we have that hinge at the hip where the leg meets the hip joint. Maybe we can reach our feet, maybe we can't, does not matter. Pushing the heel forward. If we can reach the feet, we can even hold the outside edges of the feet. And if we have the flexibility to go a little bit deeper than that even, bring the rib cage down to the thighs, and that allows us to reach beyond our feet. We can take the block and put the block on the sole of the foot and push the foot into the block as we hold the block in place, and you'll feel that stretch deepen a little bit more. Can you tell the difference? She doesn't look like, yeah, it's a difference, but it's okay if you can't get the rest of the difference. Intensifies it. And walking the hands up. Bringing the left knee up, pushing the foot solid into the mat. If you choose, you can cross the foot to the opposite side. Don't have to. Wherever we are, nice and tall, let's revisit that twist and exhale, twisting towards our left. Belly, rib cage, shoulders, neck, and head. Very light support with the hand. If we can twist and bring the outside of the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Palms facing up. Platform of the fish is what they call this one. Wherever we are, breathing into it. And inhale, coming back to center. Back to butterfly. And extending the left leg. Walking our hands down the leg. Pushing the heel forward, pulling the heart forward, and the shoulders melt away from the ears. And if we can deepen into it, if our flexibility allows, we reach the hands If we can reach them around the foot, we can hold the sides of the foot. Or if we can reach farther, deepening our hinge from the hip, put the block behind the foot, push the foot into the block as we hold the edges of the block with our hands. Feeling that intensity and stretch, deepening, breathing into it. And blocking our hands up, placing our right foot flat, knees up, crossing the foot if we choose. Wherever we are, tall to the spine, and as we exhale, twisting into half lord of the fish. Maybe we can take the outside of the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, pushing the left heel forward, breathing into our twist. Spine is staying long. And coming back to center. As we move into final relaxation, we do have an option for a gentle leg and arm adjustment. Hands-on adjustment, I would hold your feet, your ankles, and your forearms, your hand. It is totally optional. I totally respect your space if you do not want to be touched, especially with all that's going on, COVID and such. So as we come onto our backs, if you do not want me to touch you, place both hands on your belly. If you do want the adjustment, as you're laying there, both hands at your side, palms up, and that will be my cue. I'll know who does and does not want to be touched for this. So your choice does not offend me one way or the other. Just a little extra adjustment that some people find they really, really like. So I want to offer it if you so desire. So coming onto our backs, eyes closed, moving into our final relaxation. Turning the head side to side a couple of times as we lay back. Finding that neutral spot, right in the middle. Letting the mouth hang loose, the tongue is relaxed, neck is released. Muscles around the forehead and around the eyes soften. You feel the shoulder blades melt into the mat. And again, quick reminder, if you do not want me to do the hands-on adjustment, place your hands on your belly. If you do want the adjustment, keep your hands at your side. So as we sink deeper into the mat, we let the air we breathe in travel to our extremities, grabbing the last bits of stress or tension or worry or distraction or anything that we are holding on to that we know we need to let go of. And as we breathe out, we feel it leave the body with our breath. So that every breath in and every breath out, we are letting go of more and more. And we find ourselves sinking deeper into the mat, completely and totally relaxed. And with our next breath, let's bring gentle movement back into the body. And the head side to side, moving the fingers and toes, rotating wrists and ankles. although you may feel like you're being dragged back into the present, you remember that anytime you need to just take a break from whatever is going on in life, and just breathe and allow ourselves to be calm, we can always revisit. Even if we're not on the mat, we can sit in a chair, in a car, breathing deeply, and giving ourselves permission to relax and let go. So then as we come back into the present,